Right now at 5, a local bakery receives a grant for renewable energy. And Western Technical College introduces 2 new sports programs.
Watching WKBT La Crosse. This is News 8 Now at 6.
Good evening and thank you for joining us for News 8 Now at 6. I'm Emily Brown. Ken is off tonight. A Tomah man has been convicted of 23 child sex crimes. According to the Monroe County DA's office, after a 4-day trial, a jury convicted 53-year-old Mark Bruner in connection with the victimization of 2 children between 2008 and 2019. Bruner was accused of sexual assault, enticement, and causing a child to view sexual activity. He was previously convicted of child sexual assault in 1988. Bruner faces a mandatory prison sentence of 25 years. He will remain in custody until sentencing on June 20th. A Wisconsin woman was sentenced to life for killing her friend using eye drops. Jessie Krzyzewski was found guilty of first-degree intentional homicide and felony theft last November. Prosecutors say Krzyzewski gave Lynn Hernan a lethal dose of a toxic chemical found in over-the-counter eye drops. A key part of the trial focused on evidence showing Krzyzewski had researched the effects of that chemical online. Krzyzewski spoke for nearly 2 hours before Friday's sentencing, maintaining her innocence and insisting Hernan died by suicide. Her sentence includes the possibility of extended supervision after she serves 30 years.
Yeah, what a difference sun comes out and makes with the temperatures this time of year. Well, we should be in the low to mid 50s. And we had the sun. We got all the way up to the mid 50s actually, and we're still there outside right now with plenty of sunshine, some cirrus clouds out ahead, but overall a very seasonable conditions for this time of year. For this evening, really no issues to speak of. A few clouds, otherwise getting back down to the upper 30s with very light winds, nearly calm conditions. So really perfect conditions for early April. Same story for Eau Claire, a few clouds, otherwise getting down to the upper 30s by 11 p.m. with nearly calm winds. Overall, big picture shows just a few clouds to the east. Those clouds to the west are just some high cirrus that you just saw that were hitting near Eau Claire. That'll be what we'll see a little bit overnight, but otherwise temperatures remain in the 50s for the most locations, 40s further east because of the clouds that persist. But overnight, besides those clouds coming overhead from the west, we should have temperatures falling back down into the 20s, upper 20s to low 30s, depending on location. Light winds, a very nice start for your Saturday. If you have the plans to go golfing before the basketball begins in the evening, you should have really nice conditions out there right now as everyone gets outside. Mid 50s, I think a lot of areas might actually hit the 60-degree mark since we're a couple degrees warmer today, but do it today because obviously Sunday, the rain comes in. It's going to be back to the 40s, and later on we'll break down what we expect for the clouds and the rain for the eclipse coming Monday and what the temperatures look like for next week.
All right, so we have to take advantage of today, the rest of the sunshine today and tomorrow.
And tomorrow, yep.
All right, thank you, Greg. A West Salem bakery receiving a hefty grant today to become more energy efficient. Linda's Bakery is one of 20 Wisconsin businesses receiving a grant from the USDA Rural Energy for America program. The grant was pushed by Senator Tammy Baldwin to help farmers and small businesses in rural areas become more energy efficient. Linda's Bakery received over $160,000 to go towards covering their entire roof with solar panels. The owner says the new paneling will help them cut costs significantly.
That's going to be a big savings for us. We expect to get the life on those is going to be about 25 years, and it looks like there's probably about a 8 to 10 year payback on that investment for us.
Now, the project is expected to save Linda's Bakery $34,500 a year in electrical costs. They expect the solar paneling to be completed by the end of July. Western Technical College is pumping up student engagement with the addition of 2 new athletic programs, powerlifting and clay target shooting. These new programs will engage more students because both full-time and part-time students are eligible to participate. The new programs come a few months after the school suspended its men's and women's basketball teams. Western's athletics manager says the additions are good replacements that will be available to all students.
The basketball program was required to be full-time enrolled here at Western, yet only 30% of our students are full-time. So we really narrowed the gap of who we could engage with. These new sport offerings are going to replace that. Our intention from the long long term and from the get-go was always to suspend and then replace with additional sport offerings.
Monroe says this is the first phase of more athletic programs to come to Western. In a significant boost for STEM education, the Nerds on a Mission robotics team from Holmen received a $3,400 grant today from the La Crosse Community Foundation. The funds will be used to purchase upgraded robot kits and computers, allowing the team of homeschooled students to expand their participation in the first LEGO League competition. Coach Peggy Miracle hopes the new kits will help kids gain more interest in STEM fields.
They're the newer kits. Also, we have several of the older kits, and some were on loan to us last year, but this will give us even more kits for more teams moving forward. And I get emails every day of more people ready to, sign up for this next program, next season. So.
The Nerds on a Mission will be competing throughout today and tomorrow at the La Crosse Center. Yesterday, U.S. Senate candidate Eric Hovde distanced himself from former President Donald Trump after receiving his endorsement on two key issues, including how elections are administered and abortion. Hovde is running against incumbent Tammy Baldwin for the U.S. Senate. Emily Fannin has more from Bronzeville, Milwaukee.
Such a necessity. It's so needed.
At Pepper Pot in Bronzeville, Republican businessman Eric Hovde met with community leaders as his U.S. Senate campaign ramps up. It comes just days after he received former President Donald Trump's endorsement. While speaking to reporters, Hovde distanced himself from Trump by saying he doesn't believe the 2020 election was stolen, something Trump again falsely claimed in Green Bay on Tuesday.
Were there issues? Yes. But we've got to move past that. We've got to get confidence in our election process.
Hovde expressed some concerns with the decision to ban election officials into nursing homes to help people cast an absentee ballot during COVID and allowing clerks to accept ballots that had missing parts of a witness's address.
All those things need to be cleaned up.
On the issue of abortion, Hovde shifted his stance from 2012 when he said he was totally opposed to the procedure, telling CBS 58 on Thursday he backs exceptions for rape and incest, along with fertility treatments.
Do you think a woman's access to certain contraceptions and certain fertility treatments should be restricted or limited?
No, look, fertility treatments, obviously, I want anybody that wants to have a child to have a child. I think women early on in a pregnancy should have a right to make a choice, but I think there is a point where once a baby can be born healthy and alive, that's unconscionable.
Hovde's opponent, Senator Tammy Baldwin, has remained a strong proponent of abortion rights. A campaign spokeswoman said in a statement today Hovde doubled down on supporting abortion. A campaign spokeswoman said in a statement, today Hovde doubled down on supporting a ban on abortion. Tammy Baldwin is the only candidate in this race that Wisconsin women can count on to defend our reproductive freedoms.
Now, the matchup between Hovde and Baldwin is expected to be one of the most expensive U.S. Senate races in the county, and it comes as the chamber is up for grabs this fall. President Biden visits Baltimore. His encounters with people devastated by the Francis Scott Key Bridge collapse when we come back.
At Ashley Spring Semi-Annual Sale, you can spring into savings with Hot Buys $7.99 and under. Plus, shop our Spring Sofa Sale with 0% interest until April 2029 on in-store purchases. Hurry in and meet the all-new Ashley today.
Get solar and get saving with Olson Solar Energy in the La Crosse area.
When you're talking to someone and you call someone at Olson Solar, it's not someone in Utah, it's not someone in California, it is someone local right here. By doing that, we control the entire process. So we control the project management, we control the design, we control the installation, the electric, the hookup, permitting, and that really sets us apart.
Stop into our location near you or give us a call and ask us about our Earth Day promo.
It's a textbook case. Out of sight, out of mind.
Couldn't they see the signs?
Here, look at the autopsy report. The signs are all there. A plugged vent, rust buildup, dirty flame sensor, and loose wiring. No sign of maintenance. The list goes on and on.
What about the filter?
Don't get me started on the filter.
Well, what does your gut tell you, Rook?
Gotta be someone close to the victim.
Someone with access.
I know who our suspect is.
If you suspect something is up with your HVAC system, call G&T Heating and Air Conditioning today.
They say that breakfast is the most important meal of the day. Well, they are correct.
Enjoy one of our tasty bagel sandwiches paired with a caramel frappe.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Fresh out of Papa Murphy's kitchen, the limited time triple pet pizza.
Actually, it's fresh out of my oven.
Dad, it's just an expression.
Giant, classic, and mini cup pepperoni? Now that is an expression.
Order the triple pep today.
Meet the all-new Ashley. Discover new styles in remodeled stores, offering everything you need to create inspired spaces. From our store to your door. The new Ashley. It's the love of home.
President Biden visited Baltimore today to get a first-hand look at the damage from the collapsed Francis Scott Key Bridge and meet with the people impacted by the collapse the most. Chris Van Cleve has more details from Baltimore.
President Biden met with family members of the 6 construction workers killed when a cargo ship hit the Francis Scott Key Bridge in Baltimore last week, causing its collapse.
After pulling a night shift fixing potholes, they were on a break when the ship struck.
Earlier, the president flew over the wreckage in Marine One and got a briefing on the recovery efforts.
You know, from the air, I saw the bridge that's been ripped apart. But here on the ground, I see a community that's been pulled together.
The Biden administration sent a letter to Congress Friday, formally requesting lawmakers authorize 100% of the costs to rebuild the bridge. The federal government did the same during previous incidents, including 2007's I-35 bridge collapse in Minneapolis.
And we're going to get this paid for, aren't we? Yes. All right.
The conservative House Freedom Caucus released a statement saying it will agree to the spending, but with conditions. It wants the money offset with cuts to other areas of the budget. Backers expect the measure to win bipartisan support.
As the work gets underway to reopen the channel and rebuild the bridge, carry out an investigation, and Transportation Infrastructure Committee will closely monitor developments and work with the families and stakeholders impacted.
Majority Leader Chuck Schumer says the Democratic-led Senate will quickly move to vote on a funding request to rebuild the bridge. Chris Van Cleve, CBS News, Baltimore.
The Baltimore Orioles and Baltimore Ravens, the city's Major League Baseball and NFL teams, announced they are donating $5 million each to the Key Bridge Emergency Fund, which provides support for families, port workers, first responders, and small businesses impacted by the bridge collapse. And then there were 4. The NCAA Women's Final Four tips off tonight. Those matchups in just a few minutes.
And we're counting down till the eclipse on Monday. We got some great weather Saturday, rainy Sunday, but what about the clouds and the rain coming Monday? I'll break down in timeout if we do have some clouds there and what's the chance of seeing that eclipse. All that coming up on your First Warn Weather Update after the break.
You're young, but your bathroom is old. I get it. I visit my kids, grandkids, my precious great-grandkids. Doesn't fit their lifestyle. Not safe. Old and ugly. You'll be amazed at the transformation you can make in just a few days. New tub and shower with all new fixtures, new toilet, new sink and vanity, new flooring, at an investment much less than you might think. Call the Board Store Home Improvements today for a prompt free estimate on your new bathroom.
At Blaine's Farm and Fleet, we get you outdoors because we get you. When you're ready to get out and prep your yard for spring, we get you the right products at the right prices. Right now, Rewards members get a free $15 gift card with a $100 purchase of Scotts products. Save $400 on this 42-inch Husqvarna Hydro lawn tractor. Plus, tackle any project with these men's Carhartt steel toe boots, $74.99. We get you outdoors because we get you at Blaine's Farm and Fleet.
Hey, Dad, look.
Us.
This is the magma chamber.
This isn't us, is it? When did we get so connected to our devices and so disconnected from each other?
She's not answering.
What? And when our phones have turned us into this, LT, what do you do when you're a company that sells them? We gotta fix this. It's time to find what we're missing. Join us in taking a break from our devices. Take the phones down for 5 challenge for 5 days, 5 hours, or even just 5 minutes. Feels good. And let's find us again. U.S. Cellular, built for us.
I worked as a truck driver for 36 years.
And then one day I got this letter.
Your retirement will be cut.
Will be cut in half.
You don't forget something like that.
Every paycheck we put money away. But because of Wall Street greed, boom, it was gone. But Tammy Baldwin saw what they were doing and wrote a bill to save our retirement.
Then she fought like hell to pass it.
What Tammy Baldwin did for our families, you don't forget something like that.
I'm Tammy Baldwin, and I approve this message.
The number of people getting ripped off by scammers is off the charts these days. So if someone calls you or approaches you on social media and starts asking you for money, there's a 100% chance you're being scammed. So if you get these calls, hang up. And if you're ever tempted to follow through, please call me. I'll walk you through the situation. We could potentially save you thousands of dollars.
You're watching News 8 Now. Expect more.
The NCAA Women's Final Four tips off tonight in Cleveland. South Carolina, just 2 wins away from an undefeated season, takes on NC State in the first game. And that's followed by a battle of 2 mega superstars, Iowa's Caitlin Clark and UConn's Paige Buchers.
So I think you're going to see also a beautiful style of basketball, teams that cut, teams that pass, a game that's probably really high scoring too. And South Carolina on the brink of history, but NC State, they can score, they're fun, they're athletic. It's going to be a really, really tight game, I think.
During their 36-0 season, the South Carolina Gamecocks have a margin of victory that's nearly 30 points a game. Millions of packets of popular laundry detergent pods have been recalled due to faulty packaging. The U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission says the pods pose a serious risk of accidental ingestion by young children and may cause facial injuries. The recall involves Tide, Gain, Flings, Ace, and Ariel liquid laundry detergent pod packets, which were made between September 2023 and February 2024. They were sold in flexible film bags at U.S. retailers like Big Lots, Family Dollar, Target, Walmart, and Amazon. The agency says no injuries have been reported due to this defect. Experts say alcohol use is increasing among retirees and older adults. For people 65 and older, that could mean a greater risk for health issues. One specialist says the percentage of older adults who drink each month is increasing, especially among women. For baby boomers, the number of people who binge drink, develop alcohol use disorder, and die from alcohol is also the rise. Well, I hope everyone was able to soak up the sun today because we've got one more day of it before the rain comes back. Let's send it over to Greg for the latest.
Yeah, we have the sun tomorrow and then the rain comes back for Sunday. The good news is next week we're not expecting any of the conditions that we had this week, so we should see more sun even next week, maybe some 60s, so that's the positive news. But right said, the weekend really is split into 2. The first half is great, the second half not so great. Basically 40s come back with the rain. It won't be an all-day rain, but it will be quite periods of light to even moderate rainfall, and temperatures pretty much steady in the 40s. But Saturday, these actually could be a little bit higher too. We were a little bit higher today. We might actually top the 60 in a lot more locations tomorrow. But for tonight, really just a few cirrus clouds overhead. Light winds, temperatures falling back into the 20s to around the low 30s for most locations. As you wake up, we'll still see some of that cirrus kind of pass overhead. The winds will pick up a little bit out of the southeast as we go in the afternoon hours, but really 50s by the noon and then mid to upper 50s, potentially even 60 as we go in the afternoon. The only difference from today and tomorrow will be that wind will pick up a little bit out of the southeast towards the afternoon, and the evening too will continue with that southeast wind. That'll be the noticeable difference. Otherwise, clearing skies and good conditions. That wind picks up because of that system beginning to develop and really deepens a low out there by Nebraska by the time we get to Saturday night, and brings this first band of light to moderate rainfall and lifts it up across the area through the morning hours and noon. We'll probably see a little bit of a break here and there, but additional bands are likely to rotate further up through the day, and then actually through to Sunday night we might see a little break too, and that continues on Monday. But the notice difference is that low begins to lift north, so a lot of this precipitation will begin to lift north by the morning hours into the early afternoon, and that opens up the door a little bit for some drier air to potentially work its way into at least southern Wisconsin, maybe up to La Crosse, to break some of that cloud cover up. So that's when the potential is to see maybe some of the eclipse. It's better as you go further south. Unfortunately, if you go further northwest, they're going to be under influences of that low, and probably a good steady rain as you go further northwest to Minneapolis through Monday. And then Tuesday, we're just going to see that begin to lift further north. We should start drying out with more sun as we go into Tuesday and beyond too. So speaking of clouds, once again, Really poor conditions as you go further north, better as you go further south. The cross is kind of right in between. It just depends on where that low moves and these bands and whether we get that break or not. The good news is if you want to go further south to where they have 100% of the clips, it's actually looking fairly good with clearing skies and a few clouds out there. But for tonight, we'll have clearing skies with temperatures will drop back down into the 30s. Upper 20s, low 30s with that light wind, a few passing clouds. Tomorrow, temperatures actually might boost up to 60 in a few areas. The only noticeable difference with that southeast wind in the afternoon will pick up a little bit towards evening especially, and then the wet conditions return on Sunday, linger into Monday with maybe some breaks in the afternoon. The rest of the week actually looks fairly quiet with maybe a shower or two midweek. Otherwise, we look more at the 60s. So overall, it should be a better week next week than we had this week. We should be in the 60s, maybe 70 towards the next weekend. But we'll keep an eye on the cloud cover as we go into Monday.
Okay, everyone get ready for it. Coming up in sports, the Bucks will look to bounce back tonight at home. Plus, it was a perfect day for baseball in Onalaska. The Luther Knights took the field to take on Bangor. Rob's got the highlights next.
Proper installation of your new windows make a difference. The team at Clear Choice Window and Home Solutions are factory trained to make sure your windows are installed to last. Call or stop into the showroom for your free estimate.
Save big money with these hot deals at Menards. All prices after 11% rebate. Wake up to this great deal. Pork sausage links are $2.99 and thick cut bacon is $5.99. River Rock is $1.99. 30-count gladiolus bulbs are $2.99. And these solar eclipse glasses are just 99 cents. These hot deals won't last long. Hurry in before time runs out. Sign up for Menards emails to get more hot deals plus the weekly flyer right to your inbox.
Save big money at Menards.
Does your pet show signs of an irritated mouth like bad breath or abnormal chewing habits? The most common emergency that Dr. Mark Hine at Wisconsin Veterinary Orthopedics sees is a painful tooth that owners are seldom aware of. Contact Dr. Mark Hine at Wisconsin Veterinary Orthopedics in Holmen today to schedule a free dental exam. 608-526-2200 because nobody likes a sore tooth.
It's big, really big. It's the weekend furniture blowout at Drury's in Fountain, Minnesota. This weekend, for 4 big days, we've slashed prices on hundreds of items store-wide. Sofas, sectionals, and recliners from Flexsteel to CoreRest and Smith Brothers. Bedrooms and dining rooms from Daniels Amish and Canadell. Plus the area's finest selection of leather from Stressless and Lazy Boy. You'd better hurry. You won't see furniture of this quality at these prices again. The weekend furniture blowout. It's this weekend only at Drury's in Fountain, Minnesota.
There's never been a better time to switch to Spectrum. Spectrum Internet offers speed and reliability, while advanced Wi-Fi gives you best-in-class security for all your connected devices. And Spectrum Mobile delivers unlimited talk, text, and data with nationwide 5G included. Switch now and get Spectrum Internet for $49.99, plus advanced Wi-Fi and one Spectrum Mobile Unlimited line free for 12 months. Start saving today. Visit Spectrum.com, a Spectrum store, or scan to call now.
Covering all of the exciting action from your community, here's News 8 Now Sports.
Our spring sports athletes have had some trouble so far getting on the field this season. The weather hasn't been too kind for our high school baseball teams, but it finally felt like spring today. Let's go to Luther High School. Perfect day for baseball. Knights playing host to Bangor in the first. Cardinals capitalize on this wild pitch. Bryce Peterson races home from third. Bangor on the board. It's 1-0. Chase Horseman on the mound for the Cardinals. He gets some help from Peterson. Nice play here at short. Peterson showing off the gun. Cardinals still up 1. And Horseman dealing in this one. He gets the swing and a miss, a 1-2-3 first for the Cardinals. Then in the third, same score. Check out this throw. Peterson trying to steal second, but he's gunned down on a perfect strike. Close game early on. Both teams making some great plays. We'll have a final score later on tonight. On the Pro Diamond tonight, the Brewers are back in action. Milwaukee opening up a 3-game set at home against Seattle. The Crew's off to a hot start. Brewers are 4-1 so far this season. They swept the Mets on the road last weekend, then split their 2 games against Minnesota earlier this week. Freddie Peralta will get the ball tonight for Milwaukee. He was brilliant in the Brewers season opener. 6 innings, 8 Ks last Friday in New York. We'll see if Freddie can do more of the same tonight. I'll have the highlights at 10. On the hardwood, the Bucks will look to bounce back tonight when they play host to the Raptors. Milwaukee's dropped 2 straight. First one on the road in D.C., then most recently a tough loss at home against Memphis on Wednesday night. Bucks are currently 47-29 with just 6 games to go in the regular season. That record's still good enough for the second spot in the Eastern Conference. Milwaukee comes into tonight a game and a half ahead of Cleveland. As for Minnesota, the T-Wolves are heading out west tonight to take on the Suns as they try for their 3rd straight win. Minnesota currently sitting alone atop the Western Conference. Wolves are a half game ahead of Denver for that top spot in the West. 53-23 record for Minnesota. Wolves will look to gain some separation from the Nuggets tonight in Phoenix. And of course, we're keeping our eyes on the Final Four on the women's side. Big one. I can't wait for this one. Iowa, UConn. I know Cade, he's rushing back to get his highlights in so he can watch the game. Yeah. It's going to be awesome. What
time is it on?
I think it's 8.
8 o'clock?
If I'm not mistaken. I think 8's the first game.
Okay.
Or 8's the Iowa-UConn game. Not sure about the other one, but that's what most people are keeping their eyes on. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, and then this is like the end-all, end-all.
Yeah.
This is the championship
they meet on Sunday.
game.
The 2 winners tonight play on Sunday. So.
Okay.
It's going to be fun.
All right. Go Caitlin Carter, right? Clark. Caitlin Clark, excuse me. All right, we'll be right back after this.
Join the conversation at facebook.com/news8000. Or you can always find us at news8000.com.
Bygoff and Rohde had your back then, and we have your back now. We've been Wisconsin's personal injury powerhouse for over 50 years. Bygoff and Rohde. Serious injuries need serious lawyers.
Whether you're looking for a lake home, a second home, or your first home, let Town & Country Housing introduce you to quality living in our factory-built homes. Town & Country Housing has homes that will meet your style and budget. Tour our model homes and see how spacious and grand living can be. Our homes are built with energy efficiency in mind. You pick your dream home, and we take care of the rest. Your dream home is waiting. Start living your best life. Join us this weekend for our open house. Town & Country Housing, Chippewa Falls.
Spring has sprung, the grass has riz. I wonder where the furniture is. At King Furniture, of course.
During our spring clearance event, save an additional 10% off our already low prices. Plus, take advantage of 0% free financing, recliners, sofas, sectionals, dining rooms, and more. With our huge selection of in-stock furniture, low price guarantee, and free delivery, why shop anywhere else?
It's the King Furniture Spring Clearance Sale.
Bygoff and Rohde. We've been Wisconsin's personal injury powerhouse for over 50 years, and we have the #1 personal injury attorney in Eau Claire. Bygoff and Rohde. Serious injuries need serious lawyers.
All right, the eclipse there's your time. We're looking at generally about 12 to about 3. Now, even if we do a cloud cover, it will get darkened a little bit, and the temperatures will fall because of the sun being there. So that's what we're looking.
Yeah, and a good explanation as to why we have eclipses, everyone. Chuck Norris looked at the sun.
Got scared and went behind and the sun went behind the moon.
Right, exactly. There you go. All right, thank you for joining us tonight at 6. We'll see you at 10.